Well, welcome everyone. My name is Erica Christopher, and I'm here on behalf of Realtor Magazine with a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Sue Yannaccone, President and CEO of ERA Real Estate.
Sue has been transitioning into a new position at ERA as President and CEO, and I'm wondering how things are going so far.
You know, they're going great. It's been a wonderful transition. All the brokers and the employees and everyone have been so great. And I personally am feeling energized in a way that I really haven't felt in a long time. I started feeling that way last year when I came here as COO. And, you know, I really do thrive in a challenging environment. And so I'm energized and I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Wonderful. And tell me a little bit about your past experiences and how they've prepared you for this role.
So I've been, from a business perspective, I would say I've had numerous roles within the franchise space. So almost every role you could imagine on franchise, both operations and technically. And, you know, I think my past experience in customer service has really prepared me for the technical business side of it. And then, you know, I've been through a lot of change in my life and a lot of change throughout my career and personally, and that's really prepared me for taking on this new challenge.
So maybe you could describe a moment in your past where you failed and how you learned from it, how move forward.
So, you know, I would say, and I don't know that it would be a failure, but at the time it felt like a failure for me. And that was very early on in my career. I came out of college and I wanted to go into commercial real estate, and I did. And that's what I believed my passion was and where I was going to have this really super successful career. And after about 3 years, I realized I didn't like it. And it felt like a failure at the time because it, you know, sort of to my core, I thought that's what I was going to do. And what I learned from that is that, you know, the path you set out on is not always your path, and that you can find success and find something that you are passionate about if you take a moment back and you realize that you do need to have a strong belief and desire to do what you're doing. And so what initially felt like a failure, like I had to quit this job, put me on the path to be where I am today. And so I learned that you kind of have to follow your gut and have a driving passion, I guess, for what you're doing and what you want to be successful in.
Do you have any mentors? And if so, who are they and how have they influenced you?
I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of mentors throughout my career, mainly bosses that I've worked for. I've had a lot of great bosses over the years that have allowed me to really go after my dreams and sort of aggressively use my voice for what I want. When I wanted a seat at the table, to use that phrase, they always allowed me to take it and prove myself from that position. And so I've been very fortunate with that for that throughout my career. And I also would say my parents, you know, I've talked about that before. My father, you know, moved us around a lot and had many different jobs, but throughout all of it, he kept a very, very strong a focus on his core beliefs and his ethics and his values. And I've really just tried to follow in that and learn from him.
Are you guys still close?
We are. I see them every weekend and twice a week. They pick up, they're babysitters now for our little one. So.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me what you're good at. What's your strengths and how do you use them on a daily basis?
Well, I'm pretty tenacious, and I am very competitive. So I think of those as strengths. I don't give up easily. I have a strong desire to win. And I sort of come in every day with that attitude of how, you know, where are we going? Are we on that path? Are we focused on our vision? And does my team have everything they need to succeed? And so whether it be from, you know, ensuring that I'm aggressively pursuing what they need to succeed or what my brokers and my affiliates need to ensure that we are, you know, executing the way we need to be. I think those are some strengths that I've had, and they've been very useful for me throughout my career.
I understand, you know, when a person starts their day, that kind of sets the tone for the rest of their day. So how do you start your day?
I try and run every morning. Some days are harder than others. So I run, I have coffee, I check my email and my calendar all before I go upstairs if I'm home and wake my little one up, and then take some time, family time, and do breakfast and hang out with her before I drop her to school. So I take some me time, I take some work time, and I take some family time, and it really sort of gets me focused for the day.
And you mentioned you're a coffee lover. What's your favorite coffee drink?
I'm old school. I just like a large plain coffee with a little bit of milk. No sugar, no whipped cream, no flavoring. That's it.
Yeah. What websites or books are you reading right now?
I started a new book on the personal side last night, American Pastoral. So don't really have, I'm only about a chapter in, so I can't really feedback on that. And I'm reading a book called Outthink the Competition from the business side, which is really about leadership styles and embracing, approaching competition in a different way, embracing paradigm shifts and ensuring that you're looking at things in a way that perhaps your competitors aren't. So it's a really good book. We're in the midst of strategic planning, and it's a really good way for me to sort of mindset for that.
Tell me, when you meet someone new or you have a new coworker, how do you connect with them?
Well, honestly, it's probably the easiest part of my day for me. I've mentioned before, I moved around a ton as a kid. So getting to know new people and being thrust in that environment of having to kind of engage with people the first time is fun for me. I enjoy that part of my job. I enjoy getting to know people on a personal level. I think it's very important to build that rapport right off the bat, and not from the perspective of, sort of what's your role, what's your title, what's your job, but really connecting and building that trust. And so it's listening to them, understanding what makes them tick, what they want to do, what they want to accomplish. And I'm pretty transparent. I'm a pretty open book. So I think it puts people at ease very quickly. And so, I enjoy that part of it.
Good. So tell me, what's your best habit and what's your worst habit?
So I eat ice cream every day. That kind of falls into both categories, right?
I think that's a good habit.
It's probably why I'm trying to up that running habit in the morning, right?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I would say my worst is probably it's probably the same, and it sounds a little cliche as my best, but it's that tenacity and that competition and that desire, because it keeps me up later than I should, but it also helps me accomplish a lot in my life. So sometimes I need to learn to step away a little bit more and get some more downtime. I'm not really good at doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the work-life balance is always a struggle. So tell me how you make big decisions.
I take a lot of care in making big decisions, a lot of thought. I try and research whatever it is that I'm needing to make a decision around. I'll engage with some trusted advisors, perhaps people within my office or outside that I think can just give me a perspective that I may not have. But at the end of the day, I make them myself, because I step back then, I weigh all the facts. And I really try and think about all the impacts downline, not just the immediate. And then at the end of the day, I make the decision and I live with it and I go with it. I've said previously, you have to own your decisions. Nobody else can make them for you. And so you have to really put a lot of time and thought into that. And again, how they're going to impact both the immediate and the long term, both you and others. So I think it behooves people to take their time to make big decisions.
And what type of work environment do you thrive in?
I thrive in a very high-paced environment. I like to have a lot going on. I never want to be bored. So sort of the more going on, the better. But I also want to have fun. I set the bar pretty high for my team, but I want them also to have a lot of fun doing that. So if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you should be doing something else, because life is short. And, I think the only way you're going to be really successful and try and find true happiness in what you're doing is to have fun doing it. But again, if it's hectic and it's fast paced and there's a lot of expectation on you and on your delivery, I really thrive in that.
And, as a woman in a leadership role, how can companies and brokerages foster an environment where there's more room for women to be promoted to leadership roles?
I think that's a great question, and one I spend a lot of time thinking about. Here at Realogy, I run or oversee in the chair, if you will, of the Women's Employee Resource Group, and so it's fascinating for me to hear women at all different levels within the organization kind of give their feedback as to what they need, what they're missing, what's stifled their growth perhaps throughout the years. And I think companies really need to make sure that they're providing those vehicles for women to express their needs and the different challenges they may face on a day-to-day basis coming into the office. And, for women, I think we have to ensure that we find our voice and we have our voice, and that we're not afraid to have an opinion and ask for that seat at the table, and really embrace the opportunity that comes with challenges related to that. I think it's important that all levels of management and leadership understand that that's an important factor of running a business, that women bring a lot to the table. They have unique perspectives. And so it's training your management to ensure that they're looking for ways to foster that growth. It really has to be a cultural component of a business, and you have to, and that's for any diversity, be it women or other diverse populations. That diversity of thought is crucial to a company succeeding today. And so, it's encouraging that and finding ways to foster and promote that, be it through roundtables or mentorship groups or lunch and learns. But it's also incumbent upon women to understand what their objectives are, what they want to achieve, and what they have to do that. Not everything can change to fit every aspect of your life. And so, you have to make sure you're comfortable with that as well.
So what are some of the biggest issues facing your ERA franchisees, and how do you plan to address those at the leadership level?
I think what's facing ERA franchisees or any other franchisees today, or brokers for that matter, is it's a couple things. It's the pace of change and technology in our industry today and in all industries, and how that's impacting the way we need to work with our consumers, how agents have to connect with their consumers and the tools and systems they need to do that. Mm-hmm. The demographics, there's a shifting demographic population within our industry, both from a attraction of new talent, whether it be from the millennial pool or whatnot, as well as the shifting demographics on the other side. So we have, an aging population, 58, a median age of realtors being 58, and I think it was 30% of those are over 60. So we've got to address that. And so my job, my team's job, is to understand how that change, whatever that change is impacting our brokers, subsequently our agents and our consumers, and ensuring that we're focusing on creating tools and systems that help and allow them to be successful today and tomorrow. I'm a big believer that what we're using today is truly just the launching pad for where we're going to be in 2, 3, 5 years from now. So we need to be forward thinking that way. And so within the building, I work very hard to encourage the team to be thinking about what's next and not creating things that only work today, and creating with an eye on that future, and then ensuring we're out as leaders, as developers, as partners with our brokers, to get out and understand what their needs are to help inform those decisions that we're making and those strategies and things that we're creating.
So also looking ahead, what are 3 goals that you have for 2017?
We're kind of in the midst of achieving one of them, which has been to really ensure that the company, that ERA here, that we're aligned and positioned from a resource perspective the right way to accomplish on, sort of the next generation of ERA, if you will. We're in the midst of, as I said, business planning. So taking a look at what we need to be doing for next year, and then 3 years and 5 years. So really that strategic planning. And then really taking a look at the voice of ERA and ensuring that we're that we're creating that voice of our brand and of our customer to solve their needs. So part of that for me for the rest of 2017 is getting out and meeting with as many people as we can. So I have a lot of road shows. I'm going to be in Wyoming for the next week, and I'm going down to Florida and up to New York, and just really getting out and meeting a lot of our customers, our affiliates and our agents, and ensuring that I'm coming back with that voice for our brand.
So you'll be at the Realtors Conference and Expo?
I will be there. Yep. That's on the road show.
Good, good. Well, I've come to the end of my questions. Is there anything else that you would like brokers or real estate professionals in general to know about you or the ERA brand?
I think from our perspective and for ERA and for anybody interested in ERA or in me or the company, we're really focused on the next generation of leaderships, the next generation of business, how we can evolve the industry and involve how we're engaging with franchisees and brokers and agents to really set us up for success, to really fast forward into the next generation. So we're really excited. We're very energized and refocused, and just looking forward to great things to come.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to sign off.
Thank you.